So we were just speaking about it a moment ago in our Sickos segment. Tony Khan immediately saw and responded to the negative fan response on Twitter with regards to Mina Shirakawa's new theme song and has changed it back to the original theme song. So in the middle of the show, this guy, Willie Beeman, says, "We need Mina old theme back, boss. I'm trying to vibe." And then Tony's like, "I already switched it back." Calling him boss too? This is full on cuckatooery, guys. I already switched it back. And then this guy goes, "Did TK check Twitter to see everyone raging on the Mina theme and decide to change it back on the fly?" And then Tony goes, Yeah, I did. I already switched it back." "Yeah," he responds. So Tony saw people freaking out, like the handful of sickos, the niche sicko group of the sickos, and you folded to that. Imagine you're Mina and you worked on that dance, and then middle of the match, the music's different, and you go, "Oh, I wonder if production's up." Then you get backstage and Tony's like, "Well, you were great, but, we're going to switch it back because at Breva and Willie Beeman __ said, they're trying to vibe." What the? And then Mina next week is like, "Okay, I don't get to do my dance and my new music that I picked out." And I'm like, "Well, in WWE, yeah, we're not talking about that." We know Def Rebel sucks. Yep. We know AEW. Okay. Tony, what are you doing? Answering the sickos mid-show. Ospreay had this to say about the C2. He goes, "Bruv, tournaments are the heart of pro wrestling, bruv. It gives people opportunities, bruv. To climb up the card with shocking wins. Love to see an AEW do a King of Trios Tag League, Women's Continental Classic, or Cruiserweight Junior Cup." This is a playground, man. These guys don't want wrestling to thrive. Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. Like, they don't want AEW to thrive, not wrestling in general, just AEW. They don't want AEW to thrive whatsoever, I swear to God, because the tournaments aren't helping. None of this helping. Yes, people can get shocking wins. I would like to see a tag league tournament too. I've been calling for one for WWE to do one with the women, though, every year. I think that'd be better than having like a year-round women's tag division with these meaningless belts. But either way, dude, I just don't know if these people have Tony and AEW's best interest in mind. They just seem to largely have their own best interest. So Lucha Blog had this to say. He was chronicling some Tony Khan stuff, and ROH match one. He's just chronicling ROH, and then Tony Khan comes out to talk, right? And Lucha Blog's like, "I love the Lucha Libre Collision match 2, Anna Jay versus Megan Bain, Steve McMichael tribute." So he was in the house. Collision match 3. He's listing it all, and then he has this to say about TK. He goes, "TK comes out to thank all 4 men and plug the residency. Also, they need to fill while cleaning up." Collision match 6 goes down. Okay. And then Tony comes out again talking about his fandom of CMLL. So he's coming out multiple times during these tapings as they finish switching over the buckles, okay? And then Lucha Blog says TK's really running out of stuff to talk about. And then Tony Khan goes, "This is a reference to be shouting out the fantastic decades of work by the Cubs fan." Crazy, bro, that he even responds to Lucha Blog. Like, trying to bury Lucha Blog or what? "This is a reference, by the way, to be shouting out how fantastic and great the Cubs fans are, saying I had run out of shit." Yeah, Tony, that's called like the cheap pop. You shout out the local team and their fans, right? Like, that's what he means. You're now in cheap pop territory because you're running out of shit to say. Tony, you don't really get like the wrestling business side of like the performing aspect of any of it. I really think you're just out of touch with that aspect of it. And so I just wouldn't, you just look stupid there. I'm sorry. Tony looked very stupid there. Willow Nightingale has re-signed with AEW on a multi-year deal. Good for her, man. Good for her. She's probably getting paid shitloads of money. In WWE, she'd have to grind her way back up. She has many accolades in AEW. If she goes to WWE, she already gets the Bayley comparisons, and I don't like that they make her go super hardcore and shit. I think her being like the smiley toily, is that the right word? Just like the everyone clap with me and giving the kids hugs, and then I can fire up and get serious. That's the way to book her. And we haven't seen, like, the problem with Willow though is that the hype's sort of gone now. Like, they had her, they were building her up. She's getting wins. She's on Dark Elevation. She's on Rampage. She's on all the shows. She's getting wins. She's getting involved in storylines. And then they just don't pull the trigger on her. Like, put the world fucking title on her and have her, like, get this whole, just have her smiling and kissing babies and hugging kids and selling merch and shit. Like, I don't get it. There's just a huge disconnect as well with, like, when to pull the trigger on people. It's like Tony sees something hot, then he goes, I know. Let me fantasy book it my way in 6 months. We'll do this. It's like, dude, no, just pull the trigger sometimes. So Gabe Kidd debuted in AEW. My whole reaction to that cage match is up on YouTube. My live reaction, right, where I call the whole match and I react to Gabe Kidd's debut and the whole schmoz at the end of the cage match and all of that. But the Japanese community of wrestling fans, they consider this truly sellout behavior. Like the way Gabe Kidd in AEW, because AEW was on his trashing AEW shit. That's when it's okay. Again, I've chronicled it here, unlike any other. When you are cool with Tony and he thinks, like, Moxley's allowed to say everything Punk said at that press conference. He's allowed to say that in his vignette work shoots because Moxley makes Tony think it's his idea and he's worked into thinking that it's, you know, part of the show and all that, blah, blah, blah. And same with Gabe Kidd and Kenny. You know, Kenny called Tony Khan and was like, Tony, he's going to shoot on you. You're going to love it. Right? And then Gabe Kidd shows up. We knew he showed up in Maple Leaf Pro. So I said it. I was like, yeah, he's likely. This is a sign he'll be in AEW. He shows up. Whether he's signed there or not, I don't know. But Gabe Kidd, man, it's treacherous to the New Japan the people, like fans, the way he's positioned himself. And I'm going to have somebody on to talk about this stuff next week on PWT Podcast, someone in particular, and who's, you know, more deep in the New Japan stuff and who wasn't very impressed by Gabe Kidd's debut in AEW for great reasons, right? Which we'll get into that show. This is what the Japanese fans thought about it, right? No one will believe him if he shouts, I love New Japan from now on. It's pro wrestling, so it's fine, but AEW is the one who does the most disappointing things. It was the same with IWGP last year when Moxley was the champion. Anyway, AEW is the one who disappoints New Japan fans. Now, guys, we've chronicled it here. They did back-to-back shows in the same building. New Japan, and then the next night or the night before, I forget which order, it was AEW versus New Japan with like all the same New Japan guys plus the AEW guys. Just the New guys outdrew the AEW show, crossover show. Period, man. The Japanese fans are rejecting AEW too. It's just the truth. And then this guy said, I thought you said you weren't going anywhere. This guy said, what is New Japan love? Maybe AEW next year and Gabe will continue to shout about his love for AEW. See, now they're roasting him. Like, yeah, maybe next year he'll go there and yell about how much he loves AEW. No one will believe him anymore. And no one believes this whole, I love New Japan shit. And I called it before anybody. Go back and listen to me covering all the shit because I can psychoanalyze Tony Khan. I can psychoanalyze some of these motherfuckers. That's why they don't like me. And I'm telling you, it's not just my keen Mickey Mouse impression. Okay. I'm telling you, dude. Gabe Kidd and Tony were in on that shit together where he's going to trash Kenny and trash AEW. And that's why Tony allowed Kenny to do the work shoot. Did they get in a real fight? The cameras weren't even on. Remember they worked that angle? Why wouldn't you make Kenny do that in your company? Kenny's big return to wrestling was in New Japan, not even in fucking AEW, like on a Dynamite or anything. It's fucking crazy, man. Or like one of their pay-per-views. And it's because he was worked into thinking like he was in on the whole thing and he was getting Gabe Kidd down the line and he knew that. And he knows that about all these New Japan guys. And that's what people say when they say Tony, or what they mean rather, when they say Tony Khan gutted New Japan. He gutted it. And he knew all the people he's taking. And don't be shocked if Naito shows up, but fans aren't happy. You know, there's some anecdotal, I guess, maybe if you want to call it that. So Tony Khan about last week's Dynamite said, thank you all who watched Wednesday Night Dynamite back beach break last night. The most watched Dynamite of 2025, most viewers on TBS networks in September, which was before we added Stream on Max audience. So this is their highest number since before they added the Stream on Max audience. Most important, it was a great Dynamite. See you Saturday. 682K was the most watched AEW of 2025. Go back to the beginning when they had like 1.2 milli watching them. And people are trying to say it's over a million. They're trying to say over NBA numbers on Max. It's just completely false, man. It's that simple. They don't do over NBA numbers on Max. Is there maybe tens of thousands who might watch them on Max? For sure. I wouldn't be shocked if that came out. But when we start talking 100,000 to 500,000 extra people, you're talking about LeBron James doesn't pull those numbers on Max. So it's not real. It's not true. And Dave is to blame for this bullshit ad 30%. It's literally the dumbest, most disgusting fucking thing, how that spread. So Jim Ross on Inside the Ropes. So here's the things. Now, guys, tell me if this is anything you really knew that he's ever said before. Jim Ross on Inside the Ropes. He's not shocked Cody Rhodes left AEW because Cody Rhodes could actually realize his potential in WWE. That's his words. He's in AEW to get his money. That's his words, verbatim. I should have fucking got the clip queued up. I really should have. But he says, he goes, oh, and I'm not knocking AEW. They pay me well. They pay me well. And I'm getting my money. And the crowd applauds him for it. That's exactly how he says it. He repeats it twice. They pay me well. They pay me well. Go watch the clip. It's on Inside the Ropes. Jack Perry was scared shitless of CM Punk. Or at least maybe I could add context. Jim Ross said it this way. And that Jack Perry was scared shitless of CM Punk, wasn't he? You got to imagine that Jack. So the way he said it, okay, sorry. Maybe he was implying he thought that Jack Perry was scared shitless. I think we all agree Jack was scared shitless. And then he said Punk should have waited until after the event to scrap with Perry. And he was like, you should have waited till after. Like, what do you got to prove you're a tough guy now? I don't know. I don't think. But speaking of Jim Ross, later, an hour later, you fucking sickos, he tweeted out, diagnosed this week with colon cancer, surgery being scheduled in the next week or two. I appreciate your concern or support. I was one of the first people under there, by the way, saying fucking God bless you, man. Prayers and best energies. But the GOAT, and I just pray, man, this guy has, listen, I'm just going to put it, I'm going to be optimistic. He's caught and beaten cancer, I think, a couple times already. By God, he's going to break it in half again, okay? He's going to fucking destroy this cancer again. Here is the Virtuosa arguing with Sickos. Maybe this should have been in Sickos, but she posts a picture, and then this guy, Zen Griselda, goes, when am I going to see you on AEW again? And then her response is, see that belt on my shoulder? Watch me there. No, the problem is he doesn't know what the fuck that belt is. That's the problem. And now you're just relegated to fucking see that belt on my shoulder? Watch me there. This is a video of her in Impact. So you want him to watch TNA Impact? Or do you mean, is this a Ring of Honor belt? There wasn't a current video of that? Why? No one watches Honor Club, dude. You got stuck down. He wants to see you in AEW. He doesn't want to watch Ring of Honor. If he wanted to watch Ring of Honor, he would have 7 years ago when, see that belt on my shoulder. That's a picture of her from Impact Wrestling, dude. Yeah, so here's Ricochet owning PWT in the PWT universe, right? He smashed our knees to oblivion.
Smashed your knee to oblivion.
AEW TBS champion Mercedes Monea says she is the Beyonce of wrestling. The Beyonce of wrestling. Last I checked, Beyonce was still a draw. Oh, wrong shit. I meant to hit, but because Beyonce left hip hop, went to country, so there's a joke there. Last I checked, when Beyonce left and went to the new, I'm a hack guy, so we know. Production meetings matter. Now, I don't know if this was necessarily a bot. People were praising this, saying like this was a cool segue on Dynamite for MVP to pitch to the audience, like, hey man, don't go anywhere. MJF's coming right back. They're coming out next, so you don't want to touch that dial. Chat, let me know what you think.
And now with that, wait. Now I'm getting a signal from a producer over here that we got 30 seconds to commercial break. So I want to tell all of you that are watching at home, please join us because MJF will be joining us after the break.
I don't think that was a botch. I think that was MVP seeing that, just getting the signal 30 seconds and him just freestyle. Hey, let's break the fourth wall. Let's do something interesting instead of just like they ran through the script and whatever. You got to call it on the fly sometimes in wrestling, folks. Tony Khan changed Mina Shirakawa's AEW theme music back immediately after he saw negative feedback to her entrance on tonight's Dynamite. So this guy, Alec Hugill Illustration, said, sadly, my time on the AEW merch team ended last week. It's been such a pleasure getting to design 50 plus tees for them over the last 8 months. I did want to say a huge thanks to the PWT's gimmick infringement team. Very grateful for the opportunity. And so let's look at some of the ones he created. So this guy was making the shirts, I guess, that didn't look like AI generated art. Why would you let go of this guy? Like, some of these aren't that bad. Like, that's actually a pretty decent mock shirt. That one's decent as well. The Protostar one, the Murder Machines. I mean, that does look pretty cool, actually. The Murder Machines one, the Beast Mortis. Some of them are like there's a lot going on where it's like you could simplify it a bit. Danhausen, that one looks sick. That Cope one looks pretty sick. That Omega one looks pretty sick too. So the guy who doesn't make the AI generated art, they fucking fired. I'm not laughing at the guy losing his job. I'm just laughing at, you guys know what I'm
The
laughing
best guy is Tony Khan.
How do you fuck that up too? You know? Jesus Christ. This would be the guy you keep. So here's Harley Cameron and Anna Jay just doing their thing, man. Again, Harley Cameron needs a YouTube channel. She'd have 1 million subs and her shorts would go more viral, and she would make shitloads of money. Maybe she just really likes getting in the ring. Who knows?
Anna, I wrote you a little song to inspire you for tonight. It's called Anna versus the Megasys, but Anna wins. Yeah. Tonight, Anna Jay, you will go all the way with the Megasys. You will slay. Yeah, like that. Penelope, for you rule the day. Don't worry, Anna, I'll keep her at bay. On the ground, the Megasys stays, and Anna, your fat ass will heavily weigh. Anna!
I think I'm just gonna choke the bitch out.
That was shit. Let's go!
They're a great pair too. I'm glad they figured this out, but Tony's so like, Harley, you go here. He's like her Orange Cassidy. Well, you go with them, and then you go with them, and then you're with them now. They're over there now. Oh, see, I did it.